In an age where noise reigns supreme and silence is a rare commodity, the wisdom of working hard in silence shines as a guiding light. Imagine a world where social media feeds overflow with self-promotion and validation seems to come only from the likes and comments of others. This world, our world, often blinds us to the deeper, quieter truths that lie beneath the surface. And yet, within the ancient teachings of Buddhism lies a powerful antidote to this modern chaos: the art of silent perseverance. Buddhism, a philosophy and way of life that has endured for over 2 millennia, offers profound insights into the nature of existence and the path to inner peace. At the heart of these teachings is a simple yet transformative idea: that true success is found not in the applause of others, but in the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. It is a philosophy that calls us to work with diligence and focus, free from the distractions of ego and external validation. Let us journey together into this world of silent perseverance and uncover the timeless lessons Buddhism has to offer. The foundation of this teaching is mindfulness, the art of being fully present in the moment. Imagine yourself immersed in a task, your attention so focused that the noise of the outside world fades away. In this state, you are not driven by the need to prove yourself to others, but by the pure joy of creation. This is the essence of working in silence. It is about channeling your energy into the present moment, allowing your efforts to speak louder than your words ever could. In the teachings of Buddhism, mindfulness is not merely a tool for productivity, it is a way of life. It encourages us to engage with each task as though it were a sacred act, worthy of our full attention and care. When you approach your work in this way, the results are not just external achievements, but also a deep sense of inner fulfillment. Silence, often dismissed as a void to be filled, is celebrated in Buddhism as a source of power and tranquility. Picture a still lake, its surface undisturbed by ripples. This is the state of mind that silence fosters, a space where clarity and self-reflection can flourish. In this quietude, you gain insights into your thoughts and actions, allowing you to navigate life with greater wisdom and purpose. Consider the example of a craftsman working on a delicate sculpture. Each movement of the chisel is deliberate, each stroke a testament to years of practice and patience. The craftsman does not shout about his skill. He lets the finished piece speak for itself. Similarly, when you work hard in silence, you create a space for your efforts to shine without the need for external validation. This silence is not a weakness but a strength, a sign of humility and inner confidence. But why is silence so important in a world that values noise? The answer lies in the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. When we let go of our need for recognition and approval, we free ourselves from the chains of ego. We begin to understand that our worth is not defined by the applause we receive, but by the integrity of our actions. Take, for instance, the story of a monk who spent years tending to a neglected garden. He worked tirelessly, not for the praise of others, but for the simple joy of nurturing life. When the garden finally bloomed, its beauty was a silent testament to his dedication. This is the power of working in silence. It allows us to focus on the process rather than the outcome, finding contentment in the act itself. The path of silent perseverance is not without its challenges. Life is unpredictable, filled with obstacles and setbacks. But Buddhism teaches us to embrace these challenges with equanimity, a state of emotional balance and calmness. When faced with difficulty, we are encouraged to view it as an opportunity for growth rather than a barrier to success. Imagine a mountain climber scaling a steep peak. Each step is fraught with risk, yet the climber perseveres, not for the summit, but for the journey itself. In the same way, when we work hard in silence, we learn to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. This resilience is rooted in the Buddhist understanding of impermanence. Success and failure, joy and sorrow, are all transient states. By accepting this impermanence, we can approach our work with a sense of detachment, focusing on the effort rather than the outcome. This perspective not only reduces stress and anxiety, but also fosters a sense of inner peace. Consider the metaphor of the lotus flower, a symbol of patience and resilience in Buddhist teachings. The lotus grows in the muck and mud at the bottom of a pond, yet it emerges as a pristine, beautiful flower. Similarly, our efforts, though often mired in challenges, can blossom into something extraordinary through patience and dedication. In the gentle rhythm of silence, there lies an untold strength, a quiet power that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. As the young man in our story began to integrate the teachings of the sage into his daily life, he realized something profound. The world often measures success by noise, but true growth happens in stillness. Each morning, as he followed the practices shared with him, he discovered not only improvement in his eyesight, but also a newfound clarity in his thoughts and emotions. The philosophy of working hard in silence isn't just about achieving a goal. It's about cultivating a mindset, a way of being that transcends external outcomes. Silence isn't merely the absence of sound. It's a fertile ground where focus, resilience, and purpose take root. But this journey isn't easy. It requires patience, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to growth. Let us now dive deeper into this philosophy, exploring how silent effort becomes a bridge to both personal and collective transformation. At the core of Buddhism lies the concept of non-attachment. In a world driven by likes, shares, and fleeting applause, detaching ourselves from external validation feels almost impossible. Yet, non-attachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. Rather, it means finding joy in the act itself instead of being consumed by the results. Imagine an artist painting in a quiet room. Each brushstroke is deliberate, guided by intuition rather than the desire for praise. When the painting is finished, the artist feels a sense of peace, not because others might admire the artwork, but because the process itself was fulfilling. This is the essence of working in silence, finding purpose and meaning in the effort rather than the applause. But how does one cultivate such a mindset in the noise of modern life? The answer lies in mindfulness, a practice deeply embedded in Buddhist philosophy. Mindfulness isn't just about sitting quietly in meditation. It's about bringing full awareness to every action, every breath, and every thought. When you approach your work with mindfulness, even the simplest tasks become sacred rituals. Consider a monk sweeping the temple grounds. With every stroke of the broom, he is fully present, his mind undistracted by the past or future. The act of sweeping becomes a meditation, a way to align his inner and outer worlds. Similarly, when you work mindfully, whether you're writing an email, cooking a meal, or building something with your hands, you infuse each action with intention and focus. The young man in our story began to apply this principle to his own life. Whether he was preparing the herbal remedies shared by the sage or performing eye exercises at dawn, he treated each moment as an opportunity for mindfulness. Gradually, his mind grew quieter, and his focus sharpened. But working in silence isn't just about inner peace, it's also about resilience. The journey of silent effort is often met with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. This is where the Buddhist teaching of equanimity becomes essential. Equanimity is the ability to remain calm and balanced, even in the face of adversity. Picture a bamboo tree swaying in the wind. No matter how strong the storm, the bamboo bends but does not break. Its strength lies in its flexibility and rootedness. In the same way, equanimity allows us to face life's challenges with grace and poise, without being thrown off balance by temporary failures or fleeting successes. The young man encountered his own storms. There were days when the exercises felt tedious, when progress seemed slow, and when doubt crept into his mind. But he remembered the sage's words, "Healing is a journey, not a destination." With this wisdom in his heart, he pressed on, embracing each moment as part of his growth. The Buddhist metaphor of the lotus flower offers another profound lesson in resilience. Just as the lotus rises from murky waters to bloom in radiant beauty, our efforts often require us to endure challenging conditions before we see results. The mud represents life's struggles, the obstacles, doubts, and fears we must overcome. But it is precisely this mud that nourishes the lotus, allowing it to flourish. In our own lives, the mud might be long hours of work, repeated failures, or moments of isolation. But when we persevere with patience and faith, our efforts eventually blossom into something beautiful, sometimes in ways we could never have anticipated. Take, for example, the story of a writer who spent years crafting his first novel. He worked in silence, pouring his heart into every word without knowing if anyone would ever read his book. When it was finally published, it touched the lives of countless readers. But for the writer, the true success wasn't in the accolades or sales. It was in the quiet joy of having created something meaningful. This is the power of silent effort. It transforms not just our external circumstances, but also our inner landscape. Patience plays a vital role in this process. In a world of instant gratification, patience feels like an outdated virtue. But Buddhism teaches us that lasting success is built on the foundation of patience and persistence. Consider a farmer planting seeds in a field. He cannot force the crops to grow faster, nor can he predict the exact day of harvest. All he can do is nurture the soil, water the plants, and trust the process. In the same way, when we work silently towards our goals, we must learn to trust the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. The young man learned this lesson firsthand. There were weeks when his eyesight showed no noticeable improvement, despite his dedication. But he continued with the exercises, the remedies, and the mindfulness practices. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, his vision began to clear. Another cornerstone of working hard in silence is humility. In Buddhism, humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's about recognizing that our work is not just for our own benefit, but for the greater good of those around us. The young man realized that his healing was not just about his eyesight. It was about becoming a better, more present version of himself for his loved ones. When we approach our work with humility, we let go of the need to prove ourselves to others. Instead, we focus on contributing, on serving, and on creating something meaningful. This principle is reflected in the Buddhist teaching of right livelihood. Work, according to Buddhism, should not only be ethical but also contribute to the well-being of others. When we align our efforts with this principle, our work becomes more than just a means to an end. It becomes an expression of our values and our humanity. In the quiet hours of dawn, as the young man continued his practices, he began to notice something remarkable. His inner world was transforming. His mind felt calmer, his focus sharper, and his heart more open. It wasn't just his eyesight that was healing. It was his spirit. This transformation is the essence of working hard in silence. It's not about chasing applause or seeking validation. It's about becoming deeply connected to our purpose, our work, and ourselves. As the sun rose over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, the young man understood something profound. Silence was not emptiness, it was fullness. It was a space where effort, intention, and purpose could come together in harmony. The morning sun cast a warm glow over the horizon as the young man sat quietly, his gaze fixed on the distant mountains. It had been months since he first sought the wisdom of the sage. Months of silent effort, discipline, and patience. His eyesight had improved remarkably, but the transformation that had taken place within him was even more profound. What began as a quest for physical healing had evolved into a spiritual awakening. He realized now that silence was not merely an absence of noise, but a powerful state of being, a space where true growth could take root. The practices the sage had shared were not temporary remedies. They were lifelong tools for resilience, clarity, and inner peace. As he sat there, immersed in the stillness of the morning, he reflected on the teachings that had shaped his journey. The lessons of mindfulness, non-attachment, patience, and humility had become guiding principles in his life, and he understood now that his journey was far from over. The wisdom he had gained was not something to be kept to himself. It was a light meant to be shared with others. Let us now bring this journey full circle, exploring the final lessons of working hard in silence, the importance of legacy, and the timeless call to action that lies at the heart of Buddhist wisdom. The young man's transformation was not just about physical vision. It was about inner vision. Through his silent efforts, he had developed a deep sense of self-awareness and purpose. Buddhism teaches that true success is not measured by external achievements, but by the peace and clarity we cultivate within ourselves. In the modern world, where distractions are endless and noise is constant, Finding this inner stillness is more important than ever. Think of a still pond reflecting the sky above. Only in its calm surface can the beauty of the world be truly seen. Our minds are no different. When we quiet the noise within, we create space for insight, creativity, and purpose to emerge. But this stillness is not passive. It is not about retreating from the world or avoiding responsibility. On the contrary, it is an active state of engagement, a way of moving through life with intention and clarity. One of the most profound lessons the young man learned was the value of consistency. Silent effort isn't about grand gestures or fleeting bursts of inspiration. It's about showing up every day, even when progress feels slow or invisible. It's about watering the seeds you've planted, trusting that they will grow in their own time. Take, for example, the story of a musician who practices his instrument in solitude for years. He doesn't play for applause or recognition. He plays because he loves the music. And in those quiet hours of practice, something magical happens. His skill deepens, his understanding grows, and his music becomes a reflection of his soul. This is the beauty of working in silence. The process itself becomes the reward. Equally important is the lesson of letting go. Buddhism teaches that attachment to outcomes, to praise, to recognition, only leads to suffering. When we cling to expectations, we become trapped in a cycle of disappointment and frustration. But when we let go, when we focus on the work itself rather than the result, we free ourselves from this cycle. The young man had struggled with this lesson in the beginning. He wanted immediate results, quick fixes, and visible improvements. But over time, he realized that true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the quiet moments of discipline and dedication, in the small, seemingly insignificant actions repeated day after day. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means trusting the process. It means understanding that our worth isn't tied to our accomplishments, but to the integrity and care we bring to our efforts. Another cornerstone of silent effort is humility. In a world that often rewards self-promotion and loud displays of success, humility is a rare and precious virtue. It's about recognizing that our efforts are part of something larger than ourselves. The sage had once told the young man, "True success isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday." These words stayed with him, reminding him that growth is an inward journey, not a competition. Consider the example of a teacher who dedicates her life to educating children. She doesn't do it for fame or fortune. She does it because she believes in the power of knowledge. And though her work may not make headlines, its impact is immeasurable. This is the quiet power of humility. It allows us to work not for applause but for purpose. Compassion, too, played a vital role in the young man's transformation. Buddhism teaches that compassion isn't just about kindness to others. It's also about kindness to ourselves. Working in silence requires compassion because the journey is often long and challenging. There will be days of doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. But in those moments, it's compassion that keeps us moving forward. Imagine a gardener tending to a fragile plant. He doesn't rush the growth process or grow angry when the plant takes longer to bloom. Instead, he waters it gently, provides sunlight, and waits patiently. This is the same kindness we must show ourselves in our own journeys. The young man learned to be gentle with himself, to celebrate small victories, and to forgive himself for setbacks. In doing so, he found a deep sense of peace and resilience. The final lesson the young man learned was the importance of sharing wisdom. The sage had reminded him that knowledge is not meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared. When we work hard in silence and achieve something meaningful, our success becomes a light for others. It inspires those around us to pursue their own paths with dedication and courage. The young man began sharing the sage's teachings with others. He spoke to friends, family, and even strangers about the power of silent effort, mindfulness, and patience. And though he never sought recognition for his words, they touched the hearts of many. This is the true legacy of working in silence. Not just personal success, but a ripple effect of inspiration and positive change. As we bring this journey to a close, let us reflect on the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and fleeting applause, The path of silent effort offers a sanctuary, a place where clarity, purpose, and resilience can thrive. It's not an easy path. It requires discipline, patience, and an unwavering commitment to growth. But it is a path worth walking, for it leads not only to external success but to inner peace. The young man's story is not just his own, it is ours. Each of us carries within us the capacity for silent effort, for mindful living, and for transformative growth. So as you move forward in your own journey, remember this: success doesn't always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it blooms quietly, like a lotus in the still waters of a pond. And if you found value in these reflections, I invite you to join us on our journey. Subscribe to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life, where we explore timeless wisdom and practical insights for modern living. Let us walk this path together with mindfulness, compassion, and silent dedication. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for taking the time to reflect. May your journey be filled with peace, purpose, and quiet success. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.